This is another part of the story that is often left out. It is called the presentation. After a time, Mary and Joseph took their new little baby to the temple in Jerusalem. It was the custom to present a new baby there to celebrate its name and to dedicate it to God. When Mary and Joseph took the baby into the temple to be dedicated to God, an old man named Simeon came up and looked at the baby. He took the baby in his arms and said, "Now I can die in peace." What was he talking about? When Simeon was younger, God told him that he would not die before seeing the Holy One who was coming and would change everything. That day, Simeon knew Jesus was the one he had been waiting for. Then old Anna came up and looked at the baby. She also saw that this was the Holy One. So she gave thanks to God and told everyone in the temple what had happened. Simeon was holding the baby. Mary was still holding out her arms, as mothers do. Joseph was bringing 2 birds to the temple. This was the custom in those days. Here is old Anna. She loved to be in the temple as much as she could. I don't know why she doesn't have a halo. Look at her coat. At first, it looks brown and old, but if you look closely, it seems to be all gold. When old Simeon held the baby, he said a prayer we remember and sometimes sing. It begins, "Lord, now lettest thou servant depart in peace." Luke chapter 2, verses 29 through 32. Master, now you are dismissing your servant in peace, according to your word. For my eyes have seen your salvation, which you have prepared in the presence of all peoples, a light of revelation to the Gentiles and for glory to your people Israel. We 3 kings, the Magi, the wise ones, they finally arrived. They were late. Every year they are late. They are adoring the baby. That means they are just standing there and looking at the baby and enjoying him. They also brought presents. Look at that star. This is the wild star that they had been following. The artist didn't know very much about camels. He knew that they had long necks, a hump, and legs. But look at the face. They look like donkeys. See their long ears? It doesn't matter though. We still know what they are trying to paint. Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 and 2. In the time of King Herod, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem, asking, "Where is the child who has been born King of the Jews? For we observed his star at its rising, and have come to pay him homage." This is the part of the story that is often left out too. It is no wonder people do not tell this part. It is too sad. It is called the Massacre of the Innocents. The 3 kings followed the star to the land where Jesus was born. When they came into the land, they went to see the king, King Herod of Jerusalem. When King Herod heard them say they were looking for a baby, he was very interested. He did not want that baby to grow up. Herod wanted to be the only king in the land. "Come and tell me when you find this king," he told the Magi. "I want to come and worship him." Herod was not telling the truth. He wanted to kill the new little king. The three kings, the wise ones, did not tell Herod. They went home by another way. They really were wise. Herod did not forget, though. He asked his scholars to look in the scriptures and find where it said the king would be born. They told Herod that the place would be Bethlehem. Herod sent his soldiers there, and they killed every baby boy they could find who was 2 years old or younger. And it was a terrible, terrible thing. The mothers and the fathers were very sad. You can see that many babies have already been killed. The soldiers took them from their mothers. No one really looks happy in the picture, not even King Herod. Look at the mother's eyes. The artist tried to make them look very, very sad. See how long and narrow they are? Matthew chapter 2, verses 16 through 18. When Herod saw that they had been tricked by the wise men, he was infuriated. And he sent and killed all the children in and around Bethlehem who were 2 years old or under, according to the time that he had learned from the wise men. Then was fulfilled what had been spoken through the prophet Jeremiah. A voice was heard in Ramah, wailing and loud lamentation, Rachel weeping for her children. She refused to be consoled, because they were no more. I guess the story is over, isn't it? No. The baby Jesus did not die in Bethlehem. An angel came to Joseph in a dream before the soldiers arrived. The angel told Joseph to take his little family to another country. They fled far away to the land of Egypt. Mary and the baby rode on the donkey, and Joseph led the way. Matthew chapter 2, verse 13. Now when they had departed, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, and said, Rise, take the child and his mother, and flee to Egypt, and remain there till I tell you, for Herod is about to search for the child and destroy him. Now, let's enjoy the whole story. When Jesus grew up, he grew into greatness, and the mystery of Christmas increased. Here is the flight into Egypt. Here is the massacre of the innocents. Here is the adoration of the Magi. Here is the presentation of the temple. Here is the nativity. Here is the visitation. And here is the Annunciation. All of these paintings were painted by the artist Giotto. He was an Italian painter who painted in the 13th and 14th centuries. And here is the Jesus as a grown man.